Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of On the Bench with Columbus Wire. Dave Seaman, Justin Boggs with you. Katrina has the night off. And Justin, it's been an interesting couple weeks here at Nationwide Arena. The Blue Jackets on the midst of a 6-game homestand. And thus far, 1-3-1 on this homestand with one to go.
Right, and that's against San Jose, which, in my opinion, probably the most exciting team to watch in the league. Patrick Marleau's been one of the leading goal scorers in the NHL, so certainly that's going to be a tough row to hoe tomorrow night against the San Jose Sharks. But Columbus has shown some effort. They've shown some signs of life. They've been in pretty much every one of the games they've played, and some nights they've looked even better than their opponents. Tonight, of course, against Edmonton, they outshoot the Oilers by a margin of 40-13. And the opportunities were there, the chances were there, but the pucks in the net weren't there for the Blue Jackets.
Yeah, R.J. Umberger getting his first goal of the season against the Oilers, but kind of two turnovers go the other way, and that's the difference in the game.
Yeah, and it was kind of disappointing, too. James Wisniewski kind of comes back. He's had concussion-like symptoms against Detroit. Comes back, has 2 turnovers, kind of 2 weird bounces along the walls, and, 2 mistakes, 2 miscues, so to speak, and they end up in the back of your net. It's what I've been saying here for the last week or two. The margin of error for the Blue Jackets has been very, very slim to win some games. And, you want to say it's easy to say they don't have enough talent. But I will say this, that they certainly have shown some effort. They've shown some signs of life. They just need to do a little bit more to, pull out that final goal and get the wins.
After the Edmonton game, the Blue Jackets, believe it or not, 12 games into the season, which means we're at the quarter point. We're at the quarter pole of the season. And 3-7-2 is the record. Probably can think of at least 2 games you really want to have back. And they haven't really been blown out of games. I think of the Phoenix game on the road, and I think about the Colorado game and even LA here, where it really wasn't as close as the final score. But what are the things about this team 2.5 or a quarter of the way into the season that you like and don't like?
Well, I guess it's a lot easier to say what you do like, and as I said, I like the effort of the squad. I think they've done a lot of things right as far as working hard, but let's go down the list on things that I don't like, and I think you would agree with me on some of these. For one, they don't have the scores. You expect an R.J. Umberger to go out there and be among your leading scorers. He isn't. He finally scored his first goal of the season tonight, 12 games into the season. You expect bigger things from guys like Brandon Dubinsky and Nick Foligno. Those guys haven't been able to put the puck in the net. And I think it's not for a lack of trying. It's just chemistry isn't there, and for some reason they just haven't been able to get in the net. Goaltending's been, I think, better than expected. I think coming in with Steve Mason and Sergei Bobrovsky, you look at their statistics over the last 2 to 3 seasons, and you're like, oh dear God, this could go horribly bad. But they've hung in there. They've given their team a chance to win, like tonight Bobrovsky did, but as again, not scoring enough goals.
At this point, you look at the leading scorers, you mentioned that, and Artem Anisimov, and of all people, Mark Letestu are your goal-scoring leaders at 4 at this point, and then of course Fedor Tutin's the point leader was 8. So you're getting some scoring, but obviously not from the likely sources. But one thing I wanted to hit on is, we've talked throughout the season, and one thing that we're going to obviously keep an eye on is what John Davidson, the hand he puts on this team. And one move that's been made that's somewhat, not questionable, but made a lot of people think, and that was the demotion of Ryan Johansson.
Yeah, I think Johansson was a guy you expected big things from this year, and last year he didn't quite give the spark a lot of folks expected in his rookie campaign, and you kind of thought, hey, maybe this might be the season. He played well in Springfield. He didn't light up the statistics there, but he certainly played well, and everyone was happy with how he played down there. But then again, he's got to be able to put the puck in the net. That's what he was brought here to do. When you're your early first-round pick, you need to score goals. In your 3rd year after you're drafted, and he's not able to do this. And with Cam Atkinson on the IR, you sort of expect, he would have been a guy probably leading this team in goal scoring, but you don't have his presence. Hey, that's a guy you're needing, a goal or 2 from every week. He's not there to provide that for you.
Well, you mentioned San Jose coming up literally in 24 hours here at Nationwide Arena. Then things don't get easy, and this is the quirk of the lockout, shortened season. The Blue Jackets will go on a 6-game road trip. They go out west, then they hit some of the Central Division foes. needless to say, this is a pretty big trip coming up.
Yeah, I mean, this is really do or die time at this point in the season. You know, this is really like that stretch when you go on the big road trips in December. You know, this is that time of year where, you know, hey, you know, if you can pull out four wins on this road trip, you're kind of right back in the mix as far as, you know, at least keeping your name in the conversation of the playoffs. If not, you know, the trade deadline is quickly looming at that point, and you know, the Blue Jackets have assets.
And, you know, the big thing is, you know, we talk about these chunks of the season. You got the 6-game road trip coming up. You come back to Nationwide Arena at the end of February, and you're virtually at the midpoint of the season. So I think, as we've talked about throughout the season, very, very crucial to start getting points. And I mean, you know, the Blue Jackets had some must-wins at home and were unable to get points.
Right. You know, you expect a team like Edmonton, that's a team you're going to need to beat. A team that's going to be in the middle of the pack in the Western Conference. You need a win against them at home. They didn't get the win. I think this game has really summed up the first quarter of the Blue Jackets season very nicely.
So that's going to wrap things up. Of course, stay tuned here to Columbus Wired. We'll have all the full coverage for you, even on the road trip, podcasts coming. And for Justin, I'm Dave. That's the Zamboni. So long, everyone.